G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to give you a jam recipe that I've been perfecting for almost 15 years. Here in Australia, this jam is famous for its award-winning qualities. It's so good and unique, your friends will be amazed and even your grandmother will be jealous. Let's get into it. The ingredients for this is not something you're going to find at your local supermarket. In fact, you might not even be able to find it at your local fresh markets. But let me assure you, it's easier than weeds to grow and it's totally worth the effort. Yes, it's Rosella. And this plant is a type of edible hibiscus native to Africa, but you'll find it all over the world. You want to grow Rosella in spring and summer. It grows super fast, maturing at about 3 to 4 feet high in one season. And it also does well in containers if you don't have a garden. At the end of the season, you harvest the fruit, in inverted commas, which is this weirdly overgrown calyx of the Rosella flower that encases a large seed pod. The jam is made from the tangy, slightly sour tasting fleshy calyxes peeled away from the seed pods. The seed pods are also kept for processing separately to make a jelly that helps set the jam. When you're harvesting the flowers, try to avoid any old, dry or diseased ones. You should have plenty of plump, crispy calyxes to make up for the ones you discard. Preparing for cooking is a simple matter of peeling the calyxes away from the seed pods with your fingers and separating the pods into another container at the same time. Make sure you remove any small critters that might be hiding in and around the flowers. I then give the peeled calyxes a good dip under hot tap water to wash away any ants or insects that I may have missed. Put the calyxes and the pods into separate saucepans. Juice a whole lemon into the calyxes pot. I'll use about 1 lemon per 5-litre pot of calyxes, give or take. There's really no strict measurements in this recipe at all. Then put the lemon seeds and cut up rind into the pods pot. The lemon juice adds a subtle sourness to the jam, and the seeds and rind adds flavour but also extra pectin to help the jam set like jelly and not be a runny syrup. Add a cup or two of water to the calyxes to help with stewing, and add enough water, not quite to cover the seed pods. Cook the calyxes and pods at a rolling simmer for about 30 minutes until the calyxes have broken down and the pods have reduced into a gravy-like syrupy sauce. Strain the pods into a bowl. The solids left behind can go into the compost. It's the strained liquid that you want to keep. Then what I do is I go ahead and weigh the broken down calyx pulp. I do this by zeroing out another saucepan and pouring the pulp into that. I then weigh out the same amount of normal white sugar, which always seems like a lot because it is, I suppose, and then I add the sugar to the Rosella pulp. Add in about a cup of the seed pod sauce into the mixture of the sugar and the pulp. There's not really an exact measurement, but I do keep a little bit back just in case you need to add more later if your jam is not setting. Mix the sugar into the pulp well as you slowly bring the mixture back to a simmer. Don't boil the jam too high. A light rolling simmer is best. Over the next 45 minutes or so, keep stirring the jam regularly, making sure it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan. If a foam or scum forms, you can skim some of this off and discard it. But don't worry too much about getting all the foam, it won't matter. After about 45 minutes or an hour, you can start testing to see if the jam is thick enough and is at setting point. To do this, I put a plate in the fridge to get it cold, and then put a small amount of the jam onto the plate and leave it back in the fridge for about 2 minutes to cool down. I look for 2 things when testing the jam for setting point. Firstly, the crinkle. By pushing your finger into the jam, it should crinkle or form a small wave. And secondly, when you run a path through the jam with your finger and turn the plate on its side, the jam should fall slowly and not be too runny. If the jam runs fast down the plate, then cook it for another 15 minutes and test it again, and so on until it reaches the desired consistency. Once the jam has set, pour it immediately into clean jars. Place the lids on and let them rest. The jam will keep for months, if not years, and if properly sealed, they don't even need to be stored in the fridge. The taste is unique. Some people say it tastes like cranberries, but I reckon it tastes like Rosella. It's its own thing. If I don't make this Rosella jam every year, my wife gets angry at me because it's her favourite jam ever. By the way, you can also use the calyxes to make refreshing cold drinks and teas, and the leaves are wonderful in salads. Those of you who have followed my channel for years might remember that around 8 years ago, I uploaded a video on making Rosella jam. In that video, I combined the seed pods with the calyxes all in one pot, and then I strained it to get the seedless pulp. This new video, keeping the pods and calyxes separate and adding in the lemon, I reckon tastes better, and it does save time overall. Well, it's taken me 15 years to perfect, I reckon, this recipe, so watch out, Country Women's Association, I'm coming for you. Not really. No, I know how good you guys are. I won't ever try to bust in on your turf. If you like the video, make sure you jam that thumb right onto the like button and give it a big thumbs up. Also, share the video around and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.